Okay, Assalamualaikum class. How are you? I hope we are doing well. We are now in PKP 3.0. We are in a phase of total lockdown, and I hope everybody is control themselves to be in house, be in lockdown. Okay, so for today's video, we are going to talk about our chapter 8, which is the electronic procurement. So procurement is actually part of e-supply chain management. So how we can improve e-supply chain management? We have learned about what is supply chain management, what is the importance of supply chain management, and what is the value chain, and why we need to understand a value chain or identify the value chain component in order to understand supply chain management. So one of the way to improve to implement e-supply chain management, we can use e-procurement. So for today, these are the learning outcomes for this topic. So the definition of procurement, method of procurement, problem with traditional procurement, the definition of e-procurement, and e-procurement methods. Okay, so we begin with what is procurement itself. In Bahasa, we call it as a perolehan. Okay, in Bahasa, in a simple word, you can read the definition, but in a very simple word, procurement is process of buying or purchasing a supply from suppliers. Itu sebenarnya proses kita beli barang-barang untuk in order for us to produce our product. We purchase a good, a raw material from our supplier. The process we call it as a procurement. So if we look into a definition, procurement is all activities involved with obtaining material, services, managing inflow into an organization, and items from supplier, includes inbound logistics such as purchasing, transportation, and warehousing before the item is used. So it's not just include the purchasing, it's also include the transportation process and also warehousing process. Okay, so kita nak obtain apa? Obtain, it can be a material, it can be a services, and also managing inflow into an organization. Okay, this is a definition of procurement. So in procurement activities, so what are the key procurement activities within an organization? So this is the procurement process. Okay, usually, okay, ini organization lah. Apa yang berlaku, originator ni depends on which department needs the supply. So for example, okay, this is the production department. So production department will send the requisitions. So it will go through the approval process. Siapa yang akan buat? Biasanya orang yang bahagian production department akan ada beberapa division. So mungkin daripada production line akan hantar, dia punya supervisor akan identify apa yang dah tak ada, apa supply yang diperlukan, and dia akan letak, dia buat permintaan, akan hantar ke boss dia, head of department. Head of department akan hantar kepada account department, which is the buyer lah, the person in charge in the purchasing process. And usually ini akan hantar kepada accountant for financial approval. Okay, untuk buy approval kat sini dia akan approve, boleh tak kita beli barang untuk buat produk ni. Okay, then bila dah kat sini dah approve, so it will send to the buyer. Buyer will liaise to the accounting. Okay, so accounting akan tengok, akan buat the process, dia akan pergi kepada purchase order. Okay, purchase order, buyer akan hantar purchase order. This buyer will liaise with the supplier. Buyer will send a purchase order to supplier and also will send the purchase order copy to the accountant. What is a purchase order? Purchase order ni macam borang pesanan. Dia akan hantar, okay, saya nak ayam 20 ekor. Contoh, kalau 20 ekor maksudnya berapa tan and so on. Okay. And then the supplier will send invoice and delivery notes. Dia akan hantar berapa harga dan juga akan hantar delivery notes kalau melibatkan kau dalam delivery lah. So So masa kat sini accountant akan buat payment kepada customer. Bila ada invoice, accountant akan dapat invoice, accountant akan buat payment and delivery note akan hantar ke warehouse. Warehouse yang akan terimalah. Okay, warehouse. Tengok, this depend on how big the organisation would be. Kalau besar melibatkan kilang, okay, it would be a very huge warehouse. Tapi kalau just a small company like a simple bakery, okay, mungkin akan ada store dia lah sendiri. And then the supplier will receive the payment. Okay, so kalau awak nampak kat sini the process daripada siapa yang nak guna, dia akan hantar ada approval process and then akan ada person in charge yang akan deal dengan supplier and akan deal dengan accounting. The accounting department will make a payment, the supplier akan hantar invoice, the accounting department akan buat payment and supplier will send the delivery note and also the product ship the product to the warehouse. Okay. Okay. So, what is the problem? What is the problem with the traditional procurement? So, the table here show the process, okay, the task for the procurement process, the traditional procurement process. Search for goods, fill in paper requisition, send to buyer, maybe takes 1 day. In buyers in tray, which is the waiting for buyer to process the purchasing. Buyer enters order number, buyer authorized order, buyer prints order copies to supplier and goods in, delivery from supplier, order copy to accounts, three-way invoice match, check payment. So ini proses traditional. If you look here, there are intermediaries involved in the process. So daripada orang yang nak beli, kena melalui buyer dulu, baru sampai ke supplier, and we have to wait for the buyer to process the purchasing, the order, send to the supplier, supplier needs to send to the accountant will do the payment process. Okay, then the sending process takes time. So what is the problem with them? Okay, so the main problem is it is inefficient. Why it is inefficient? It's a long purchasing cycle time. Okay, it's a long purchasing cycle time. Why? You have to search for the goods that you want. You want to find the best price. You have to wait for the approval. You have to wait for the buyer to process your order. And then you have to wait for the accountant. You have to wait for the supplier to receive your order. And then very high cost. Why high cost? Why we call it high cost? Because you need to wait for everything, and time is money. And also, it's involved third party. Okay, and the searching process is not efficient. It's inefficient. So you may not get a very good price, the best price. Okay. And there are lots of administrative error. It's prone to administrative error and low buyer's productivity. Okay, ini antaranya lah. Okay, so this is the e-procurement process. The typical cycle time is 1.5 days, which is 1.5 days, as compared to the traditional procurement. It might take 5 days and half. Okay. So what will happen? You will search for goods through the web, order on the web, delivery from supplier, generate invoice, check payment, and it's done. Okay. So in Malaysia, we do have e-perolehan. Kalau dekat Jabatan Kerajaan dia ada e-perolehan lah. E-perolehan ni adalah satu e-procurement yang dibuat oleh Kerajaan Malaysia. So siapa-siapa any purchasing made by any department under jabatan-jabatan kerajaan perlu melalui e-perolehan, pasal e-perolehan lah. So now we move to the types of procurement. There are two types of procurement. The first is production related and second is non-production related. So what is production related? Okay, so production related is a purchasing made that relate to manufacturing of product, that relate to the main service. Senang ayat dia adalah that relate to the main service or main production of the organisation. Okay, for example, senang. Saya bagi contoh untuk ni, kilang gardenia. Rasanya semua orang tahulah gardenia itu apa. Musim PKP ni, saya harap you all jumpalah roti gardenia. Kalau PKP 1.0 dulu, gardenia tu wanted. Okay, kita beri contoh kilang gardenia, kilang roti. So, untuk procurement, production related for gardenia, okay, for gardenia, gardenia for a factory like gardenia must be a flour, tepung. Apa lagi awak rasa? Mungkin dari segi emulsifier, dari segi yeast, and maybe dari segi egg, and maybe gardenia ada banyak benda. Mungkin ada flavor and many more. So any purchasing that is related to the roti making, okay, to make the bread, so it falls under production related. Okay, so what is non-production related? Non-production related is a purchasing made that support the operation of the whole business and includes office supplies, furniture, and information system. Contoh kilang roti tadi. Okay, kilang roti tadi. So, apa non-production related barang yang dibeli? Contohnya, okay, kalau dekat kilang gardenia, dia mesti ada cleaning process. So, detergent used to clean all the equipment used for bread making, so it falls under non-production. Okay, sabun yang dibeli untuk basuh, and then mungkin dia ada apa lagi? Mungkin dia ada to maintain all the machines. They need to buy a certain oil, machine oil, to make sure it runs smoothly. And then maybe dia kena beli apa lagi untuk bersih the floor, so mesti ada mop and so on. Contohnya, that's non-production related. So I hope you are clear with these two type of procurement. The first type of procurement is production related, and second is non-production. So there are two types of material traded in this the procurement process. First is direct materials. What is direct materials? Materials that is used in the production of a product. For example, kalau kita kisah contoh gardenia kita tadi, tepung lah, tepung, maybe sugar, salt, yeast, egg, okay. And usually the purchasing made based on the schedule, based on the production schedule. And biasanya ni adalah benda yang cepat rosak. And the purchasing made for direct materials is frequently purchased in large quantity after extensive of negotiation and contracting. So biasanya dia orang a big factory like gardenia and apa-apa lagi biscuit and so on, biasanya dia orang memang ada buat negotiation, they have made contract. Okay, kenapa nak kena ada negotiation? Kenapa nak kena ada contract? First, to get the best price. Okay, kalau dia dapat supply, dia dapat harga yang mahal from raw materials yang mahal, so dia tak nak jual dengan harga yang sesuai pada dia punya end user lah. Satu lagi, kenapa nak kena ada kontrak? Kenapa nak sampai kena ada kontrak? To make sure they get the supply on time. Kenapa? Supaya they can meet, the gardenia can meet the demand from the customer. And second type of material is indirect materials. Materials used to support production. So, for example, supplies or light bulbs and so on. So, and MRO, it falls under indirect materials. Any materials that involve in maintenance, repairs, and operations is fall under indirect materials. So there are two types of trades. It's either vertical marketplaces or horizontal marketplaces. So vertical marketplace, markets that deal with one industry or industry segments. Okay, horizontal, market that concentrate on service or a product that is used in all types of industry. So ada dua jenis marketplaces lah dalam procurement. Satu memang this type of marketplace that is focused on one industry only. Contoh tayar. Okay, tayar. Yang buat tayar, supply tayar kereta. So it focus on vehicle production sahaja. So one industry only. And then mungkin apa lagi contoh lain? Kalau kita nak kata kilang tepung, kilang gula, mungkin ada banyak. Dia memang dia supply on food industry. Okay. Satu lagi horizontal marketplace, marketplace that concentrate on service or product that is used in all type of industry. For example, office supplies. Office supply ni apa, Medan? Office supply ni barang-barang yang digunakan di pejabat. Contoh, printer, toner printer, okay, components of computer. Papers, pen, pencils, many more. Okay. Okay, now we have done two part of it. The definition of procurement and problem with traditional procurement. Okay, next we are going to look into method of procurement. It will be continued in the next video. Okay guys, thank you.